Hello, fellas. We're going to start chapter 4 here. We're going to jump right into 4.1, talk about polynomials. We're just going to be simplifying, adding, subtracting, basically finding out the basic terms of polynomials. So we'll start off here with monomials. Look at a monomial, there's two parts to it, okay? The coefficient is just the number in front of it, and the degree, okay, comes from the exponents of all the variables. Okay, so a monomial is a group of, it's a number long grouped with variables to certain exponents. Right? They all have to be multiplied together. See how these are all multiplied together? These are not monomials because they're added and subtracted together. These negative signs are negative signs, not minus signs. Now, let's name the coefficient degree of each of these examples. So negative 7 here is obviously the coefficient. That's the number in front. The degree, well, there is no variable there. So if there is no variable at all, the degree is always 0. Okay, it's like a variable to the 0 power, which is just 1. Okay, so for m here, if there's no coefficient in front, what do we assume? We assume that the coefficient is 1. And if there's no exponent on it, like for m there, that's also the same as m to the first power. So the degree is 1 as well. Third one, coefficient very clearly 6. And to come up with the degree, you have to add the exponents of all the variables. So since the x here doesn't have 1, we assume it's a 1, so 1 plus 3 is 4. And lastly, this last one, that negative sign in front just means instead of the coefficient being 1, it's going to be negative 1. And we add up the exponents there, 2 plus 3 equals 5, to get the degree. Now, polynomials. Polynomials are built up, it's just a bunch of monomials that are added and subtracted together. So any monomials that are part of a polynomial are called terms. Okay, so terms are just all of these monomials within here. Now the degree for a polynomial is just the largest degree of any of the monomials. Okay, so let's do this first example. Terms for this first one are just 5x squared and negative 4x. And the degrees for these, the degree of 5 is 0, the degree of x squared is 2, the degree of negative 4x is 1, so the largest out of those is 2. And the second one. Okay, so we've got our terms, x to the 4th, negative 2x squared, y cubed, 6y, negative 11. From there, we've got to find out the degree of all these. X to the 4th degree is 4, the negative 2x squared, y cubed, the degree is 5, 6y is 1, negative 11 is 0. Largest out of all that, 5. That's it. Let's do some examples. So for these we have to simplify and arrange terms in order of decreasing degree. Okay, and then we'll give the degree of the overall polynomial. So obviously basic rules still apply. You got to distribute before we do anything. Distribute the plus 2 and see what we're coming up with. So we've got 12x minus 4x squared minus 36 plus 4x squared plus 4 minus 10x. Okay? Once we get to this point, you have to combine like terms. Okay? So in order to combine like terms, what that means is anything with an x squared in it, you add up those coefficients. Anything with an x in it, you add up those coefficients. Anything with just numbers, you add up those numbers. Okay? That'll give us our simplified stuff. So I always start with the biggest one. I think that's the best way to go. It also says order in order of decreasing degree, so obviously starting with the biggest one is going to help you. So we have negative 4x squared here, plus 4x squared. Those are just going to cancel each other out. We're left with 0. Okay, we've got 12x minus 10x, leaves us with 2x, and negative 36 plus 4 leaves us with minus 32. That would be the answer. Okay, now what's the degree of that? Well, the largest one here, obviously, is furthest to the left because we ordered it in decreasing degree. It's going to be 1, so degree 1. Now, the next one down here, it's a little bit more difficult because we have two different variables. Okay, so you can only combine the ones that are alike, have to have the same number of x's and the same number of y's. So which ones can you combine? Well, I just start by looking to see, is there anything else that has an x squared, y squared? No. I don't see it. Anything with a x, y to the 4th? No. Yes. So you can combine those. Okay, so these two are going to combine to make a negative 6xy to the 4th. Okay? Does anything else combine? Nothing else does. So we need, in our next line to have this, 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 and this, right? But remember, we want to try to order it in terms of decreasing degree. So let's find out the degree of these. Well, the degree of this first one is 4, this one's 5, 5, and 6. So obviously this one needs to come first. So we'll start with a 5x cubed y cubed. Then it doesn't matter where you go from there. So we'll do the 2x to the 4th y, then minus 6x y to the 4th, and finally x squared y squared. That would be the answer to this. And so to get the degree, obviously we just need the biggest one, degree 6. A couple more examples. Here we got to add and subtract the polynomials. Okay, to add and subtract them, we're going to start here. Remember, you got to add and subtract just the like terms. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it down here to do the addition. Okay, so I've got a 2x cubed. I put it over here because there's no x cubed in this first polynomial. Okay, that helps me to keep the order straight. Minus the 4x squared. Then I'm going to skip over this 4x and put the negative 5 right here. Okay, that way I can see exactly what I'm adding and subtracting. Right, so the 2x cubed comes straight down. Negative 3x squared minus 4x squared is negative 7x squared. The minus 4x comes straight down, and 9 minus 5 is 4. So the first polynomial plus second polynomial equals that answer. Now, to do the subtraction, we have negative 3x squared minus 4x plus 9 minus this whole polynomial. Okay, so if you're going to subtract the whole polynomial, you got to change every sign. You got to change all of them. You can't just change the first one. So it's a minus 2x cubed, a plus 4x squared, and a plus 5. Okay, I changed all the signs. You have to basically distribute the negative all throughout. Okay, so we'll finish this one up. Negative 2x squared plus x squared minus 4x plus 14. So once again, the order is going to be important. Remember here in the directions it says subtract the second from the first. So the second's on the bottom, the first is on top. It'll mess you up if you get that mixed up. Okay, last example. We're going to add these up. Our p squared, so 8p squared, and then we'll skip the pq because we don't have one, minus 12q squared, and we'll do our adding. Okay, so 3p squared plus 11p squared is, plus 8p squared is 11p squared, minus 4pq stays the same, and minus 5q squared at the end. There's the first one, and to do the subtracting, remember you got to have the order correct. Squared, and change both signs. Minus 8p squared plus 12q squared. Okay, distribute that negative through, and you should be good. Of negative 5p squared minus 4pq plus 19q squared. And with that, we're completely done. Good luck, guys.